And if we want to write a descriptive questions, so we have to divide it first. For categorical variables, if the researchers are writing descriptive questions on variables with categories such as gender, civil status, types of school, religion, etc., they can use the following phrases such as how are the respondents characterized in terms of blah blah blah, and then what is the demographic profile of the respondents in terms of blah blah blah, something like that. And for continuous variables, and the researcher has to use phrases like how do the students says blah blah blah, and then to what extent do the respondents blah blah blah. It is for continuous variables. And if we want to use phrases for inferential questions, the first one for relationship questions, we can use question like is blah 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 associated with blah blah blah, and does blah 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 relate to with or to blah blah blah. And while for predictive questions, we can say that is there an impact or effect of A to B, for example. And for affirmative questions, we can say that is there a difference in the respondents A when they're grouped according to B, something like that. It is just like common examples of inference question. And so from uh, the researchers' point of view, before research questions are made, the theoretical and conceptual framework needs to be strengthened. The formulation of the research question is warranted by clear and robust arguments and discussions of overarching theories and concepts that underpin the variables under the investigation or the issue. The theoretical conceptual is summarized through a research paradigm. We call them research paradigm of the interplay of research variables. Now, this paradigm would dictate the questions that researchers make, and of course, the number of questions in the research paper. Or we can say that the number of questions is dictated by the number of variables present in the research paradigm. Typically, in research papers, descriptive questions are constructed first before inferential questions. So that's the common thing. So descriptive first and then inferential second for research questions. And some researchers find simple ways to generate research question. Like there are some, what can I say, formula or like tips to make research question. There are some tips that we can use to find or create some research question. Like first one, make descriptive questions specific for each variable starting from the independent variables. Like there is an example of a research paradigm from Mr. Degamon's study in 2017 entitled Use of Work Teams, Its Impact on Students' Level of Engagement. And he used independent variables consists of teachers' use of work teams, while dependent variable of level of engagement. And the researcher writes the first question for the independent variables. Since the variable is continuous, so then the question number one will be, how do the student assess the teacher's use of work teams? And since there is only one independent variable, the researcher proceeds with making a descriptive question for the dependent variable, which is level of engagement. And since the variable is also continuous, then question number two is, what is the student's level of engagement? And if we have to make inferential questions. We have to make it guided by the connection established by arrows and links. And like the question, we can say that does the teacher's use of work teams impact students' level of engagement? And is there a relationship between teachers' use of work teams and level of engagement? And with this question, we can connect the two variables since the two variables are continuous and inferential questions consist of relationship and predictive formats will be applied. We talk if we discuss about other tips. Like for example, if the independent variable is categorical and the dependent variable is continuous, so the continuous variable is still addressed following step like I will send you the picture. It will consist independent variable like it is for sex, male or female, and dependent variable of pen tolerance. Since the independent variable is categorical, sex, there is a category. First question that may be stated is how are the respondents characterized in terms of sex? And on the other hand, the dependent variable is continuous. So the second question could be how do the respondents assess their pain tolerance? Well, provided with an or that is categorical and continuous, researchers makes a different or comparative question. And since the respondents are divided into groups, so if we are the researcher, we have the intent to find out whether there is like a difference in the respondent's pain tolerance. And so the third question would be, is there a difference between males and females in their pain tolerance? There is actually. So sometimes rows and connectors that link the variables also tell the researchers about the number of research questions that have to be made. And there is another tips or study case, and I will tell you again. Study case that I will use is research paradigm from Kaganan's 2018 entitled Teacher Standard Dependencies, Impact on the Students' Study Skills and Habits, Attitude Towards English and Learning Outcome. And it has 7 research questions that generated, of which 4 questions are descriptive and 3 questions are inferential. And there will be like a picture below, and the number of questions may also vary because 2 or more variables are expected as one predictor. It is important to note that the formulation of questions should always be done in the light of discussions of concepts in the theoretical and conceptual framework. And we will discuss about results and conclusions because the next segment will be presented by Fadia Awalia Fadia Junior and Sanaa Muhammad Awad Bagubair. Thank you.